When people think of your brand, what do they see? Great brands have 4 visual components: their logo, their color palette, their typography, and their imagery. Your logo is the most important of these. It should be a recognizable visual element that tells your brand story, who you are, what you do, and who you serve. The second thing that your brand should have is a color palette. We recommend starting with 3 to 5 colors that pair well together and match your brand's personality. If you're struggling to find a color palette that fits your brand, we recommend checking out coolors.co to get started with some color palettes there. After you have your logo and your color palette put together, you should add typography, fonts that pair well together and help tell your brand's story. This can be really tricky at first, but once you have a couple of fonts that pair well together, we recommend using them on all of your platforms to help tell a cohesive visual story. And the last thing is your imagery. This can be really difficult, but it's also really important to have imagery that's authentic to you and the people that you serve. An out-of-place stock photo can tell a really inauthentic story on places like your website or your social media. So it's important to find imagery that both matches your brand and helps elevate and tell your story. So here's your brief. Take some time to figure out what elements of your visual brand are missing. Do you have a color palette? Do you have consistent fonts that you're using? Do you have a stockpile of images that you can refer back to and reuse again later? If you don't, now is the time to get those things collected and set apart so that your brand can tell a complete story.